Back, folks. The Bishop Healing Crusaders enter the postseason, one of the favorite teams to make their way down to Des Moines. 2 wins is all it will take. Now, the first team in front of Healing would be the Spirit Lake Indians. Now, Spirit Lake enters the contest at 6-10 on the season. We'll pick things up in the first half of a scoreless game. Corner kick goes short to Alejandro Gonzalez. The junior finds space and fires, but it's saved, and we stay at 0-0. Later in the first, Crusaders attacking again. Gabe Newberg centers to Jorge Velasquez, and a great save by Eli Robinson. Velasquez gets the rebound, tries again, and it's no good. And we stay scoreless still. Second half now. Alejandro Suarez finds space, rifles, goal! The Crusaders advance to the Substate Championship as they win 3-0. So Healing gets the winner of this game up in Sioux Center. The Warriors were taking on Boynton Hole Rock Valley. No shortage of excitement here. First half, Santi Estrada fires off the corner kick, but check out keeper Jackson Blom leaping up in traffic for the save. Still scoreless in the second half. Angel Rodriguez fires the free kick, but these keepers had it under control. Sioux Center gets the stop. Still scoreless with under 8 minutes to go until Santi Estrada boots the free kick, and it goes off. Logan Fulton in for the goal. Warriors lead 1-0. Tell you what, Sioux Center, they liked it so much, they decided to do it again. Estrada takes the free kick, this time bounces off a Nighthawk for another goal. Sioux Center takes the win in that one, 2-0. Back in Sioux City for some 1A action. East Sac County taking on Western Christian early on in the first half. Wolfpack on the attack. Laramie Schroer centers the ball to Miles Bacom, and Bacom sends it home. That makes it 1-0 Pack. Later on in the half here, Zachary Mineroud makes an attempt, but it's thwarted by Luke Wernham out there. Good save. However, Western Christian would just keep on attacking. Here's Uchan Harberts. Little fancy move there. Gets himself out to the outside. He gets it over to Bacom. Bacom passes it in to Aiden Carlson, who sends it home, and Western Christian rolls to the Substate Championship with a 6-0 victory. Now the Wolfpack, they get the winner between Unity Christian and West Sioux. Unity Christian kept the pressure all night long. Steven Struers attempts a shot here. It's not one, but 2 big saves there from Ernesto Flores, and that keeps this one at 0-0. Falcons would be the first ones to find the back of the net, though. Jonathan Flores boots one up high, and it finds its way in as West Sioux takes the 1-0 lead. Knights fight back in the second half. Here's Struers dribbling up, fires off a shot, and it goes right into the corner. It's good to tie things up at 1 apiece. However, the Knights weren't satisfied there. Later on, it's Ethan Winya on the left side. He fires one all the way across into the corner for the game-winning goal. And Unity Christian is going to the Substate final, taking the win 2-1. Now, Sioux City West in some playoff action against Denison Schleswig here, and Denison jumped out early. Check out this right here. Emmanuel Prado dribbles up, fires, and it goes. 1-0 for the Monarchs now. After a half, West would answer, though. Here's Guillermo Santos with a header to put West down just 2-1. And Denison would put the game away, though. Penalty kick from Christopher Campos. It's coming. Here it is. Campos sends it through, and Denison wins 3-1. North High taking on East High. And tell you what, the Stars came striking out early in this postseason matchup. Michael Avery comes up with a goal near the end of the second half, and that puts the Stars up 2-0 later on. Avery, once again, this time it's a PK. He sends it through, taking a hat trick on the game. Avery also sets the single-season scoring record after that goal as North beats East 3-0.
Unbelievable.